Welcome to the Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week. We're live at historic Custer Stadium as Milwaukee, Washington takes on Milwaukee King. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike McGivern with Sports Radio 1250 WSSP, and this is the Sports Radio 1250 pregame show. I'm joined by the two head coaches of tonight's game, Tom Wozniak from Milwaukee King, Theo Carney from Milwaukee, Washington. Coach, let's start with you. About midway through the year now, you guys started out a little rough, but starting to play pretty good. You're feeling good about this group.
Yeah, feeling pretty good about this group. I mean, we finally got ourselves back together, and we've been preaching family, for the last couple of weeks, bringing everybody together, start playing together as a family, and make some things happen. So yeah.
When you get kids to trust each other in the football field, you see a different team when they start trusting each other.
Most definitely, and that's going to be the key to this game. You got to trust not only the juniors and seniors, the upperclassmen on the team, but you got to trust everybody else that's going to be on the field.
You bet. Coach, going to come over to you. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I talked to you a couple minutes before we went on the air. You guys are right now the big dog in the conference. You know what? Can't get away from it. Can't shake it off. Haven't lost in a couple of years. I always thought as a coach it was a different feeling when we were the hunted instead of the ones hunting. Your guys taking that feeling and running with it?
Oh yeah. We're definitely we own that sort of responsibility, I guess, and we're looking to stay where we're at.
Yeah, you bet. Anytime we do city conference games, it's a personal thing. A lot of these kids know each other. There's some bragging rights going on. Last week we did Brookfield Central, Brookfield East, and talked about that rivalry. Well, you know what? Every week in the city conference, kind of rivalry, whether teams are up high in the standings or not so high, and you feel that too because these kids all have grown up together.
Most definitely. Most of our guys, our players, they see these guys that's on the King team, and they live across the street from them. They go to the same stores they do. They live in the same neighborhood. And King is a well-respected team in the city. But both teams, I'm sure it's going to be a good game. Both teams come out here and play hard. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. But much respect to both teams.
Yeah, you bet. Same question for you. It's that whole rivalry thing that we, at least guys in the media, like to play up and say, hey, this is one of those crosstown rivalry games. City conference, you guys get that feeling pretty much every week.
Oh yeah. Like Theo said, I mean, these guys grow up on the same blocks and they know each other, and it's nice to have that bragging rights on the block and inside of the neighborhood and stuff like that. So they definitely have something to play for every week.
Hey, real quick, your quarterback is something special, sophomore, young guy, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in person. He's the leader on this team, or is there some older kids that?
Well, I think our leader is our senior fullback or running back and linebacker, Lindsey Hudson. I mean, he definitely is the heart of the team.
Excellent. Well, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to cut you guys loose. It's always good to see you. I'm looking forward to an awfully good game. On the other side of the break, we've got John Weiser, Terry Kelly going to get you the keys of the game. This is Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week, only on My 24.
Week number 6 of the high school football season kicks off at Custer Stadium tonight, a city conference battle between Milwaukee King and Milwaukee, Washington. Along with Terry Kelly, John Weiser with you. Thanks for being with us tonight for this exciting contest here, and a beautiful evening for football. We should see an exciting ball game here tonight.
Yeah, we've been here for some fierce rainstorms, so it's nice to see a fast track, two teams that have folks that can get up and down the field, so it should be an excellent game.
King has been the dominant team in this conference the last several years. Washington trying to move up the pecking order, so to speak.
Yeah, right now King is standing 2-0. They're actually a game behind two leaders that are 3-0, but they have to keep pace. Washington, once again, trying to get themselves qualified for the playoffs. Here we are in week 6, 2/3 of the way through the season. You got to get to that 4-win mark.
Let's talk about this Washington team. The Pergolders, I think on offense, it's got to start with the quarterback, right?
It does, and Amaru King is indeed their leader. He's running, passing, he does it all, and he's got an excellent receiver in Shannon Sanford. They like to try to get the ball downfield to him. Excellent jumping ability, so they're looking to try to get some one-on-one matchups.
A pair of two-way players on defense for the Pergolders.
Well, they've got Elliot Stokes, very tough, hard-nosed linebacker, and Laquan Robinson, one of the DBs. 2 interceptions already this year.
For the King Generals, they've got an outstanding quarterback. He was first-team all-conference his freshman year, sophomore Colin Sathy.
Yeah, what do you do for an encore? But Colin Sathy threw the ball well last year as a freshman, has improved, also is one of their leading rushers. Coupled with him in the backfield is Lindsey Hudson, two-way player as well, hard-nosed kid. They look at him as being their leader, kind of a coach on the field.
Hudson on defense, quite a stellar player as well.
Right, and he's joined up front by Jawan Battle, good name for a defensive lineman, and they look for those two guys to try to contain Amaru King.
Where do these two teams shape up as far as a key for victory for either team tonight?
Well, when talking with Coach Theo Carney, and he talks about what it was Washington needed to do, their kicking game has got to help them maintain field position. They think that's essential. They're also looking to eliminate the foolish penalties because in the past few games that's crept up, it's bitten them. And then, you hate to say it this way, they feel they need to have the big play. They don't think they're capable of sustaining drives yet.
And then for the Milwaukee King tonight, the Generals.
Number one, you got to contain Amaru King. If you let him get out, you're in trouble. He's going to tuck the ball down and run soon as the defenders appear to cover his receivers. They can't allow Washington to have any type of passing game. That's also going to be key. Make them purely one-dimensional. And then they have to spread the ball amongst their runners. Not just the quarterback, not just Lindsey Hudson. They've got a couple other running backs, and they need to have the balance to carry the day.
King and Washington kickoff coming up next on My 24. Lovely stretch of weather this week continues. An outstanding evening for football here tonight, and the first Thursday of autumn as we get set for Washington against Milwaukee King, a city conference battle here at Custer Stadium in Milwaukee. Again, temperatures in the upper 60s as we kick this thing off here tonight, Terry. Just beautiful conditions out here for these two teams tonight.
Right. No, heat's not going to be a problem. Fast track. Both teams are manned by skilled athletes, so it should be a very exciting contest.
Washington trying to handle the upstart King Generals here tonight, perennial favorites in the city conference. We'll see how it transpires here this evening. First now, though, our U.S. Marine Color Guard and our national anthem tonight from Custer Stadium. King and Washington set for tonight's ball game. Washington 2-1 in city conference play. King coming in at 2-0 on this season, and We have our game ball presentation tonight, our U.S. Marine game ball presentation, sponsored by the United States Marine Corps. And our officiating crew here tonight, headed up by referee Charles Hines. You may have noticed during our warm-ups when we were talking about the players, we had both teams wearing dark jerseys coming out here tonight. So Washington was able to get over to the school and get the white jerseys in time for a kickoff here tonight. So
yeah, we were more than a little alarmed because you could see they both have gold helmets. Trying to distinguish between purple and blue is going to be extremely difficult. Thankfully, Washington High School not too far away from Custer Stadium.
King coming off a big win last week. They were at taking on Rhinelander, a 42-6 win. That coming after a 42-0 shutout over Vincent. So 2 shutouts on the year so far for King. Meanwhile, Milwaukee, Washington coming in. They blanked South Division last weekend, 38-0. This following a 24-14 loss to Bradley Tech the week before in their city conference opener.
Yeah, that game for Milwaukee King last week, they actually traveled to Denmark to play that game. One of the assistant coaches at King, John Skornica, had a good friend at Denmark High School, and since Denmark was away that evening, they were able to meet halfway. The Rhinelander Hodags were able to come down, and King had an impressive performance.
King won our toss here tonight, won the coin toss. They have deferred to the second half, so Washington will receive. Again, this is part of the teeth of King's schedule, because you look at they've got Bradley Tech next week. Tech off to a 3-0 start in conference play. Then it's Milwaukee South, and then it's the season finale and conference finale against Riverside, also 2-0 so far in the young conference season.
To get to the playoffs, they have to win 2 of those 3 games to get to that magic 4-win mark. So this is a critical game, obviously, for them, and King trying to keep pace to get to 3-0.
You to look at Theo Carney there in the khaki shorts there. He is the head football coach for Milwaukee, Washington, and a nice gentleman. I had a chance to visit with him, and he's got it all together there at Washington, trying to get that program back on track.
He's a graduate of Milwaukee Pulaski High School, was actually a member of Barry Alvarez's first recruiting class, and so he feels he has a debt to pay to the city conference, and so he looks forward to trying to help the young men at Washington have an experience that's going to help project them into a better future.
King in the blue jerseys and blue pants, and Washington in the white jerseys, gold pants. As you get a look at the King sideline, the man on the headset there with the white cap, that's head coach Tom Wozniak. And we are underway. An onside kick. It hit one of the Washington players, and it's recovered by King. So they go with the onside kick, hit one of the upmen for Washington. I believe that was Stephen Baker, and then it was recovered by King on the onside kick to start the ball game. Justice King there coming up with the recovery for the Generals.
Yeah, that element of surprise certainly works in your favor. It takes a certain amount of that gambler to roll the dice and try that right off the bat, but I think they were confident that they would be capable of recovering the ball.
Colin Savvy, a sophomore, 5'11", 160 is the quarterback. He was first team all-conference a season ago. Offset eye, 2 receivers to the right. And they'll run, they'll give it to the tailback. This is Elisha Eickerman. And Eickerman, nice run of about 9, maybe 10 yards, brought down by LaQuinn Robinson for Washington.
Eickerman, also one of those players that sees action on both sides of the ball. 5'9", 185, stocky, strong, explosive.
Starting offense for the King Generals tonight. And they go right after it after the first down. They get right to the line and snap it, getting 5 yards on the play. Anthony Hanrahan there on the stop as you get a look at the Pergolder defense. Elliott Stokes, we mentioned in the pregame, probably the anchor on that defense. King right away to go. 2nd down and 5. They're in a hurry up here. Sadly will get in under center. Play action fake being chased from the backside. Sadly under pressure, and he's going to be dumped back behind the 40-yard line. Pressure all the way from Shannon Sanford that time, along with Elliott Stokes able to chase him down. So we take one more look. Stokes, who got clean off that line of scrimmage.
Right, and Sanford's coming hard on that, chasing him down, and with his speed and his range, if they don't manage to account for him, he's going to create some difficult matchups.
Loss of 8 back to the 38-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and about 12 here for the Generals. Their first possession coming off an onside kick. Sadly will go empty backfield, trips to the right side with a wing here on the left. Penalty marker down. Sadly's going to go down as well. Daniel Hinkle right there off the snap in the backfield almost immediately to bring Sadly down, and we've got our first penalty.
6 guys on the line. 6.
We had too many, not enough guys on the line of scrimmage is what I think happened on that snap. See if they'll decline the penalty here and bring up 4th down.
Hinkle's 6'3", 185-pound junior, two-way player. Also happens to be a real fine basketball player for Washington.
That is the call, so it'll bring up 4th down. Again, a reminder, Thursday Night Lights presented by My24 is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com and click on the Thursday Night Lights link. So 4th down coming up, and it'll be punting formation here. So Sam Thino, a sophomore, into punt, and got that one away. It's going to bounce inside the 20 and angle out of bounds near the 10-yard line. And that's where they'll mark it out at the 9. So a 35-yard punt out of bounds at the 9-yard line, and that's where Milwaukee, Washington will take over their first offensive series of the evening. So good stop. They were able to survive the onside kick, that sudden change of possession, if you will, and withstood that first little push from King.
Yeah, one of those stats that coaches say makes a lot more impact on a game than people might realize. What happens on those sudden changeovers?
King led by Amaru King, or I should say Washington led by Amaru King, the quarterback, senior, 5'10", 170. He will work in under center. They'll go I formation. And they'll give it to the tailback coming around the left side, Laquan Robinson, trying to find some running room across the 10, maybe the 11-yard line. Ran into a whole host of King players, led by Keontae Sherrod, the defensive back for the Generals. It's a 6'1" senior as we take one more look here on the run by Robinson. Over 500 yards rushing so far this season, almost an 8.6 yards per carry for Robinson so far this year.
Elijah Rosado, a 5'8", 150-pound sophomore, also came in on that, help fill that hole.
Gain of 1, 2nd down 9, ball just across the 10-yard line. Early first quarter, a scoreless game. It's time to get it off to May, and going to be a little bit short of the first down. As coming up on the play, Julius Buchanan, a 6-foot junior, in on the stop, one of the inside linebackers.
This week at practice, King was trying to work on using a little bit more of a slant defense rather than staying at home. Although it was interesting to hear Coach Wozniak talk about whether or not they thought it would be successful. So we'll see as the game plays out.
3rd and 2 here. Single back is May. They bring Sanford in motion. And they'll try and stack it up the middle. King was stout, able to stop at the line of scrimmage. Keontae May, the ball carrier that time. But Kevin Hampton, maybe the defensive tackle in there, number 73 for King, in on that stop.
Yeah, a little fire plug of a guy, 5'8", 230 pounds. Another junior.
So to bring up 4th down, we'll head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listen to the offensive coordinator, offensive coaching staff from Milwaukee King. You're going to see them pound the off tackle here. They think that they've got Washington spread out, so that off tackle play is something that they're going to pound here the next time they get the ball.
Something we'll keep an eye on. Thank you very much, Mike. Elliott Stokes set to punt this one away. Lindsey Hudson, one of the deep men here on this punt, and we've got officials stopping play before the snap.
Dead ball, delay of game, 5-yard penalty. Keep down.
So play a game, moves him back to a 4th and 8 ball just across the 12-yard line. So a little bit better field position upcoming here, perhaps for the King Generals.
That was one of Theo Carney's concerns, eliminating the foolish penalties.
Hudson and Mack, and there's a snap over the punter's head into the end zone, and down goes Stokes. He'll be stopped in the end zone for a safety. Looked like Frederick Holmes might have been in there first on the high snap, preventing the punt, and the King Generals come away with a deuce here on the safety on the punt. Let's take one more look. It was a high snap. It went through the fingers of the punter Stokes. And he was met by a host of King players in the end zone. Rosado, I think, also in there, may have been the first guy there.
Right, there were 3 or 4 guys that each, delayed him getting back to the original line of scrimmage. It's one of those cases he was, no matter how they did this, it was not going to work out well. In one sense, he was probably better giving up the safety than having the ball go down on the 1-yard line and set up that touchdown.
So a free kick upcoming here for the Pergolders. Lindsey Hudson, the deepest of the 3, back to receive this kick for King. Coach Wozniak working the special teams unit here, talking to DeAnthony Lee. So the Pergolders, the punt recovered in the end zone by the punter Elliott Stokes, knocked it down in the end zone, so the safety will force the free kick. This time it's going to be Shannon Sanford who will do the free kick here for the Pergolders.
Practice earlier this week, King was working very hard in trying to set a wall to the right side. See if that's what they're going to try to implement here.
Sanford's free kick, a high end-over-end kick, will be taken by Justice King. Coming around here the near side, check that number 3. That was McCants. McCants across midfield down to the Pergolder 40, brought down by Daniel Hinkle, and a penalty marker on the play. So we'll sort out this penalty, and we'll remind you our first downs this year have special meaning. For each first down made this season, Derzana and Menard will be making a donation to each of our Thursday Night Lights participants. It's a holding call here against King. From the spot of the foul, they'll mark off 10 yards. They'll move it back to the general 42-yard line where they will start this possession.
Their offensive line gets anchored by number 66, Mitchell Belkow, 5'10", 250-pound junior who was first team all-conference last year as a sophomore.
Very nice young talent on this King team for sure. We'll give it to the deep back. This is Hudson. Hudson up the middle. Gets to about midfield, about the 49-yard line where he is driven back there. Daniel Hinkle in on the stop, along with a host of Pergolders that time to bring Hudson down. Hudson 5'7", 160, a senior. He's rushed for over 300 yards so far this season.
Yeah, he's one of their captains this year and important cog.
King will go quickly. Sathy will take it across midfield for the first down, very close to the first down. Let's see where they mark it. Looks like he's going to be short. That's what I like about this kid, Sathy. Terry knows how to read the defense, knows when he's going to keep it, when he's going to hand it off. He's getting much better, I should say, at his reads each and every game.
Yeah, his dad is one of the assistant coaches, Jeff Sathy, for King. So I imagine it helps quite a bit when you have dad around the house giving you a few tips.
Give it to the fullback, spun out of a tackle, will bounce forward for the first down. Brought down by Elliott Stokes. It was Kelvin Hampton on the run that time, picking up the first down for King.
Yeah, Hampton is one of the players that switched up numbers right at the start of this game, so try to keep on our toes with that.
Sadly, play action rolling left, going downfield as a man open, makes the catch inside the 20 at the 16-yard line. Keontae Sherrod on the reception, the flanker, 6'1 senior, and he'll take it down to about they'll mark him at the 18-yard line.
Very nice fake on that initially with the line coming off the ball.
26 yards.
Got himself downfield, completely freed up.
Nice pitch that time, rolling to his left, finding Sherrod for 26 and a first down at the Washington 18-yard line. Derzon and Menard, first down here for King. And they'll empty the backfield here. Trips to the right side. They'll bring Sherrod up a little bit tighter to the line of scrimmage. And now we got a timeout taken here by King. A little confusion it looked like on the part of Sandy as he was trying to figure out the read here with the trips available to the right side.
Yeah, and it looks like King is playing some games with their line splits, adjusting as they go. Duke O'Keefe Betcher is their offensive coordinator. I think he wanted to make sure everybody got on the same page here. They would like to try to make that safety pay off for them with a touchdown. So
to capitalize on that 26-yard reception on the pitch by Sadie out to Keontae Sherrod. So make sure everybody's got the right play in mind here. Oh, what a beautiful night here for football here at Custer Stadium. In the last couple of years, the weather has not cooperated, so anytime we can get a beautiful fall evening here, that makes it all the best. Hampton and Eichelman in the backfield. They'll work the I formation here on 1st and 10 from the 18. Pergolders showing blitz. And this is Eichelman. Eichelman to the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Milwaukee King. Elisha Eichelman, a 5'9", 185-pound senior. 18-yard run that time.
Good power as he runs right through the defensive back, lowers the shoulder, carries into the end zone.
So King able to capitalize, get the safety, get good field position, overcoming a holding penalty on the kick return. And they go 58 yards. Big play, the 26-yard reception by Sherrod. And they'll go for 2. Sadly, 3-step drop going over the middle through the receiver Sherrod's hands, and the try will go incomplete. And we'll take our first quarter commercial break with King on top of Washington 8-0 early here at Custer Stadium on My 24. A safety and a 58-yard touchdown drive, and that's our score, 8-0 in favor of the King Generals. John Weiser and Terry Kelly with you, along with Mike McGivern and Kara tonight from Custer Stadium in Milwaukee. End-over-end ground ball kick that time, and recovered by Stokes. Takes it out short of the 40, across the 40-yard line, out to about the 43. So good field position here for the Pergolders. And probably a wise choice there. They don't want to have Amaro King try and return a kick. He has got amazing speed when he gets the edge. When you set the edge for him, he is gone. So King will get them set at the line of scrimmage. Keontae May, the single back, 2 receivers to the left. A little play action rollout. They'll dump it off, complete to Daniel Hinkle, makes the catch He'll take it across the 50-yard line down to the King 48-yard line. Tripped up by Keontae Sherrod, who had that nice catch on that touchdown drive.
Yeah, Amaru King coming into the game had only thrown 12 out of 18 for 176 yards. And obviously we said that was something King can't allow to have happen for Washington to have a passing attack.
Gain of 13 and a first down. A Derzan and Bernard first down here for King. Or excuse me, for the Pergolders. They'll drag a man in motion. That is Laquan Robinson. He'll get it on the little jet sweep, and not to be fooled with the Generals defense that time, as Julius Buchanan was right there, stayed home.
Buchanan is a very mobile young man as an inside linebacker. He's already picked off 2 passes this year as well, and you saw how well he moved laterally to get make that tackle on that jet sweep.
Got a holding call on that play as well. So apparently a holding call against the Pergolders, and we'll. If I'm King, maybe I take the down rather than the penalty here. Looks like they're going to march off the 10 yards. Charles Heinz, our referee tonight. Quite pick up the mic on Charles Heinz, but it was a holding call here against Washington. Move them back into Pergolder territory, back to their own 44-yard line. And Amaru King going to run the option. He's going to be tripped up in the backfield for a loss. Nice play out there defensively by Elisha Eichelman. Eichelman, the outside linebacker, able to get into the backfield. Loss back to the 42-yard line as we take one more look.
Nice tackle, came up and tripped him up. What folks couldn't see is on the sidelines, the King coaches going absolutely crazy because no one had come out to cover the wide receiver who split out to the lower right-hand part of the screen.
2nd and 22. Again, they'll drag the man in motion. Hand it off, and he's met in the backfield again, cut off by Eichelman, and then wrapped up back to the line of scrimmage. Kane Rogers out there. Rogers, the outside linebacker, 5'10", 155, a first-team all-conference player a year ago.
He turned that play back inside very quickly, and so far, for the most part, King's been able to negate Washington's speed.
Loss of 1 brings up 3rd and 23 for Washington. Late here in this first quarter, trailing by 8. Amaru King, his twin receivers to the left. Now try and bootleg here around the near side, and again met in the backfield, got away from one, spins out of tackle, keeps his balance. This is what makes him exciting. Amaru King gets it across the 45 out to the 48-yard line. Jawan Battle finally got him to the turf, but that's what makes Amaru King such a dangerous player.
All right, once he feels threatened, he's going to be able to tuck that ball underarm and take off.
Beautiful spin move there to keep his balance, and got it upfield. It'll be short of the first down, but much better field position here for the Pergolders to punt this one away. Hudson is back there, along with Keontae May, and we've got a timeout taken by King. Their second timeout here in this first quarter.
Yeah, they were short a player on the field. A little bit of confusion that seems to be coming up here, and so I don't know whether it's a question of nerves with the big game or whether they're trying to concentrate on trying to do too many things rather than taking care of the basics.
Let's head to the sidelines and get our first visit tonight by Kara.
Thank you very much, guys. I've got Sergeant Matthew Everett with the United States Marine Corps with me. Thank you very much for being here tonight.
No problem, no problem.
And now, why did you join the Marine Corps?
I joined the Marine Corps for many reasons, but my 2 main reasons was inspiration from my older brother who went into the military before me and to develop a better work ethic.
And so with a younger brother, you obviously have a connection to somebody that's younger than you. We're here down on the field. What would you say is the biggest benefit of playing youth sports before you enlist in the Marine Corps?
Just that pride of belonging you get with youth sports. I mean, because all those guys on the team, you're like brothers, okay? So you look out for one another. So that's a big, something big that I developed here in the Marine Corps.
And do you have a personal connection with youth sports?
Yes, I serve as a mentor to youth sports because these high schools ask us to come out and mentor these kids because some of these kids come from nothing, and so they need a better role model. And so that's what we serve as a mentor to these young kids in these youth sports.
That's great. Well, thank you again for being here tonight.
No problem.
And back to you guys upstairs.
Another high snap and a short punt, a late penalty flag as
We
the
went too long.
punter took a shot that time. I think it was Kane Rogers who tried to go for the block and missed the ball and got all punter. That's getting a chest up in the grill there. So while they sort out this penalty, let's head back downstairs. Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, couple of things. Washington coaches after King had scored said, boys, keep your emotions in check. We're going to play per goal football. Keep your emotions in check. Second, on the King sidelines, really trying to figure out their special teams. Guys coming in, coming out, can't seem to get that figured out. They're going to need to do that fairly quickly.
Good job there, Mike. And this will be going to be an automatic first down off the roughing the kicker call. So Pergolders get a big break here on the roughing the punter call.
Yeah, one of the things you try to teach your players as they go to rush that kick is go aim for a spot 2 yards in front of that punter so that you're not going to make contact with his leg. You come across and knock the ball down.
So Mauro King will work out of the I formation. A lot of confusion offensively. Theo Carney's going to take a timeout as well. So the first timeout by the Pergolders here. Theo Carney going to come out and get this sorted out. Well, on Wednesday, television's biggest phenomenon is coming to My 24. Don't miss The Walking Dead from the beginning, starting Wednesday at 7, right here on Milwaukee's My 24. So Milwaukee, Washington trying to take advantage of this penalty here. Took them out of a 4th and 17 and an automatic first down on the roughing the punter call.
Last thing you probably want to do is get a Mauro King a little closer to your goal line. And I'm sure Coach Wozniak is going to be talking to his players once again. They have, we've seen Washington have trouble on 2 snaps. All right, if you're going in for that kick block, you got to make sure you do it correctly so you don't wind up turning it into a penalty that gives them that critical first down.
Saw the defensive coordinator, Brent Scott, having an animated discussion with his defense. That goes back a few years, does he not?
Mr. Scott worked with us at Marquette High School way back in the day.
I formation here for the Pergolders, 1st and 10 from the King 38. They'll give it to the tailback. Big hole up the right side, inside the 35, down to the 31-yard line. Laquan Robinson, 6'3", 170, a junior, as we mentioned earlier, averaging about what he just got there, about 8 yards a carry.
He's rushed for over 500 yards already this season. You can see he had that little burst right off the ball.
Nice job defensively by Keontae Sherrod to take him down. Short of the first down, gain of 7, 2nd and 3 from the 31. He'll get the call again, wrapped up as he got to the line of scrimmage, fell forward for about a yard across the 30, maybe inside the 30, going to be short of the first down. Jawan Battle in there for the Generals, a 6'2", 230-pound. He's the captain on that defense.
Trying to follow the lead of Big Joe Ward, their right guard, 6'3", 320 pounds.
3rd and 2. And they'll try and get Robinson to the outside, trying to get the edge, and it closed off quickly. Nice play by Sherrod. Keontae Sherrod closing that time, able to seal off that edge and get to the running back Robinson before he could turn the corner.
Yeah, I don't know if you can tell from watching this, but Keontae Sherrod, his other sport is track, and he flies in there and puts the stop.
That will end our first quarter here at Custer Stadium. An 8-0 King lead on a safety and a touchdown drive. The scoring here in this first quarter. The Generals up 8-0 over the Pergolders. Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Washington facing a 4th and 1 here, and they appear to be going for it to begin our second quarter, trailing 8-0. Amaro King going to spin out of a tackle, gets the first down inside the 30-yard line down to about the 27. Pickup of about 3 for Amaro King. Julius Buchanan there on the stop. Amaro King, 5'10", 170 senior. 300 yards rushing so far this season for King. Had a 47-yard touchdown run against Milwaukee South a week ago.
Yeah, one of the little wrinkles Washington is using, they've got number 33, Anthony Hanrahan, who plays defensive line at times. 5'7", 200 pounds, leading the way at fullback.
He is in there at fullback on 1st and 10. A Drazana Menard first down play, and they'll hand it off. Stokes gets the carry. Stokes will be tripped up near the 25-yard line. Once again, Keontae Sherrod there on the stop. Watch it coming right at you here as Sherrod closes quickly out of that secondary to make the play. Second and a good 8 here. Again, working out of the I formation, twin tight single receiver here to the far side. And Amaro King going to keep it. Now met in the backfield. King nowhere to go. Cuts it the other way. To his left. Spins down and is brought down. Lindsey Hudson able to finally get him to the turf. Hudson, one of the two-way players on that King defense. Was a fumble on that play. We'll take one more look here. I think just before King went down, the ball came out right there. Got stripped out that time. Right back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 8 for the Pergolders. Stokes and Hanrahan, the running tandem here. King showing blitz. And they'll roll King to his right, and he'll be met in the backfield and dropped for a sack. And in there was Kane Rogers. First man there, Kane Rogers, the senior. Getting some help as well by Darius McElroy.
King's defense got up the field very quickly, collapsed the blocking, got right to Amaro King.
So McElroy and Rogers there for the sack. That'll force Washington back outside the 32-yard line of the Generals. So let's see what they elect to do here.
Punting has been an adventure for them tonight with some rather inconsistent snaps. So be interesting to see what Coach Carney opts to do.
Looks like he's going to go for it here as he'll bring his offense, keep his offense out here on 4th down. And Amaro King rolling right, being flushed out to his right, going to toss it downfield, and it is caught. A one-handed catch through the defender into the end zone. Touchdown, Pergolders. Shannon Sanford, an amazing catch inside the 5 and takes it to the house. Looks like he fought Justice King out there for that football and came away with it as we'll take another look. Like King got a piece of it, but not enough, and credit Shannon Sanford for staying with that and takes it in the end zone for 6. Nice play by Shannon Sanford, the junior split end.
Now, one of the plans for King was to take advantage of Sanford's basketball skills and throw him a couple jump balls.
So Washington's going to go for 2 to try and tie it up. They'll give it to Stokes. Stokes still on his feet, moving the pile forward, and he'll come down short. Actually, whistles blew before he got to the goal line. So the attempt no good. Julius Buchanan on the tackle for the Generals. So it's an 8-6 ball game on a 33-yard touchdown pass from King to Shannon Sanford. And again, what a beautiful catch by Sanford following that ball through the defender.
Hate to go back to one of those pregame keys to the game. One of the things King said they could not let happen was Washington's passing attack become a factor. And so far that's had an impact on their success so far this evening.
Let's go down to the sidelines and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, Dr. Darian Driver. She's the acting superintendent for MPS. I want to welcome her to Milwaukee. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you. It's great to be here tonight.
So from Virginia Beach to Philadelphia to Milwaukee and to a few places in between, how do you like Milwaukee so far?
I love it here. It really is a great place on a great lake, and the city has so much to offer.
You know, as I told you before, born and raised in the city, I hear nothing but really good things about you. We're excited about this.
Thank you.
Yeah?
I'm very excited. I was in the marching band in high school, so
You were?
I love being at football games.
What did you
A lot of
play?
memories. I was actually in the color guard.
Yeah.
So yes, I danced.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, spun rifles, all of those good things. So it was a lot of fun.
Hey, Dr. Driver, I'm just telling you, she's going to do great things here in the city. We're excited to have her. Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet.
All right.
Dr. Driver, welcome to Milwaukee.
Yes.
Glad to have you on My 24 tonight. Well, the man who made the nice catch is going to kick it off here for the Pergolders, and Shannon Sanford. Kick this one straight away. And up on the run right away with it is Lindsey Hudson, and Hudson will take it across the 45 out to the 48-yard line. Nice return on the dead run that time by Lindsey Hudson.
Gives him nice field position almost at midfield right off the bat.
One more look here as he came running up on that short kick, and then took 3 guys to finally get Hudson down. We talked about his toughness, and that's about what it's like. 3-4 guys at a time. King will hurry up and snap here as they'll get this one away to Eichelman. Eichelman, who scored the touchdown earlier for King. Nice run for 11, and a Durzan and Menard first down. Laquan Robinson with the stop. Again, a reminder, Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com and click on the Thursday Night Lights link. Find complete game videos and photos from this season's games. Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Movement up front. And I don't know if that was a short snap, somebody missed a count, or everybody but the quarterback knew what the snap was, perhaps.
Yeah, center and quarterback weren't quite on the same page for that start of that play.
So go from 2nd and 1 to 3rd and about 4 here for the King Generals. Line up double wing here to the right side. Again, movement up front, and then we got a neutral zone infraction here against the Pergolders. It looked like Jalea Colley got in the neutral zone early.
Yeah, that'll give King a first down.
All season long, Mike and Kara will have the opportunity to talk with sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sidelines, letting you know about the great things going on in the communities we visit. Our sideline reports being brought to you by Menards. Save big money with Menards. So the neutral zone infraction makes it a first down here for King. Ball just short of the 40-yard line. Sadly's going to roll out, being chased. Sadly on the run, got a nice block on the edge and got to the sideline before he was hammered. Sadly was hit hard on that sideline, and a late penalty marker down right in front of the Washington sideline. It was Robinson, I believe, who got there. Dropped the shoulder and dropped Sadly all in one motion. Good play by Stokes to flush him out. Got a nice block on Stokes, but right there, looked like he got across the boundary and was hit high in that shoulder area. One more look here. And yes, he was clearly 2 steps over the white boundary when Robinson made contact with him.
Ball, late hit, out of bounds. Defense, 15 yards, first down.
So add 15 more to the end of the run. Will move the football inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. So a costly penalty there on the Pergolders.
Milwaukee King trying to respond very quickly to that score.
It's 5 penalties now in this first half for Milwaukee, Washington for 50 yards. Can't give your opponent 50 freebies. Sadly will hand it off. Lindsey Hudson breaks a tackle, cuts it inside the 10, still on his feet down to the 2-yard line. Lindsey Hudson with another strong run. Anthony Hanrahan finally got him down, but it'll set up a 1st and goal for King. Nice step out of that tackle that time.
Very quick feet, quick spin.
So 1st and goal from the 3. They try and go for a quick pass play, and it's broken up incomplete. DeAndre Hill-Stanton, the split end, the intended target that time.
Yeah, 6'3" basketball player. Obviously, they're going to maybe try to repay the favor that Washington did with the basketball player going up for that catch.
So 2nd down and goal from the 3. Sadly will take his time behind the line of scrimmage. Call will go to Hudson. Hudson stutter step, cuts it back up the middle, gets it inside the 2, down to the 1-yard line. Lindsey Hudson stopped short of the goal line by Stephen Baker. So 3rd and goal from the 1. Sadly will keep it. Did he get enough surge? I don't think he got in. There's no signal yet from the officials. It's going to be stopped shy of the goal line, so 4th down now for King. Nice stop here by Washington, putting up a late stop. You can see just by the nose of the football, they're short of the goal line.
King rushed up to the ball, tried to get off a quick play. Sometimes you're not totally set and ready to take advantage of that surprise element.
Sadly still calling the play out as he gets him set at the line. Give it to Hudson. He'll walk it in for the touchdown. Lindsey Hudson. 9th touchdown of the year for Hudson. And King adds to their lead now. 14-6 as we take one more look. That ball to the goal line and cradled it across to break the plane.
Got good blocks on that side by Miles Crosby and Brendan Harris on the left side of that line. Also had number 42 leading the way.
Hudson will be the single back to go double
Kelvin
wing
Hampton.
left. Hudson gets the call and he's going to be stopped short. So the try goes no good. 14-6 our score remains here with 6.5 minutes to go in our first half. Well, we've mentioned that all season long, Derzan and Menard will be making a donation to our Thursday Night Light teams for each first down made during our telecast. And prior to tonight's game, Alan Derzan had the opportunity to meet Bill Molbeck, the Milwaukee Public Schools District Athletic Commissioner. I have a chance to talk with Alan Derzan coming up during our American Family Insurance halftime report. Glad to have Derzan and Menard on board as you get a look at head coach Tom Wozniak for the King Generals. They're up by 8 here, 14-6, aided by a costly out-of-bounds late hit call. It set them up in the red zone.
Well, Washington, in some ways, has to be somewhat pleased with what's going on. They're in the ball game at 14-6. How they respond to this offensive possession will be extremely important to see whether they can go mount another drive.
Well, they had an onside kick earlier. Let's see if they try and do the same. They will. They'll try and keep it away from Amuro King. Picked up by the short man here for the Pergolders, Demasio Maddox. Demasio Maddox takes it up to midfield. Miles Crosby there on the stop on special teams for the Generals.
Crosby is one of their offensive linemen in on that kickoff coverage team.
So the strategy, try and keep it out of Amuro King. Let him have that opportunity to return the kick. So from midfield, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Pergolders. 6.5 minutes to go here in our first half. Stokes and Hanrahan, the running tandem. Morrow King going to sling it out there, makes the completion out to Sanford, who caught the touchdown pass earlier. Sanford inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line. Keontae Mack right there. Now the Pergolders want to go with a little bit of a hurry up.
Yeah, Sanford, 6'2", nice height. 8 catches coming into tonight's game for over 200 yards.
16-yard pickup and a Derzana Menard first down for the Pergolders. Sanford split out to the right. Stokes gets the call. Stokes to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Jawan Battle got him low. It was Kane Rogers up top for the Generals.
Rogers was the first team all-conference selection last year as an outside linebacker. 5'10", 155-pound senior.
So gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. King now 3 for 3 passing the football. Morrow King for 57 yards. This time the man met in the backfield. That's Laquan Robinson, able to spin out of 1 tackle. May have gotten back the line of scrimmage. Kane Rogers, busy man tonight. 4 tackles tonight so far.
One of the things you notice Washington has done, they've also closed their splits down, and part of the reason for that is they want to have bigger corners for Morrow King to get to if he starts to run out of his quarterback position.
Pickup of 1, 3rd down and 7 for the Pergolders at the King 31-yard line. Morrow King rolling right. Now protection breaks down, and he'll go down as well. Walked right into the arms of Darius McElroy that time for the King Generals. And Morrow King slow to get up. Take one more look. Down hard. Said the whistle blew, so they said that extra toss to the turf, knocking King to the ground. The referee tonight, Charles Hines, explaining to the King defense, the general defense, that he was blowing the whistle, the play dead, and that extra body slam to the turf cost them 15 yards.
Yeah, you can't let your emotions go unchecked, and it's coming back here to bite King a bit.
So Washington benefiting from a King mistake here. They'll keep the ball. The drive continues. This will be 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. Robinson and Hanrahan, your running tandem, and we've got a timeout. We'll take a break as well. So a timeout on the field. 4:19 to go here, first half. A 14-6 ball game. Thursday Night Lights City Conference style tonight on My 24. (14-6) King on top of Washington. Pergolders facing a 1st and 10 from their 21-yard line. Hey, it's college football doubleheaders this Saturday. The action from the Gridiron kicks off at 11 a.m. Western Michigan, Virginia Tech, the ACC game of the week right here on My 24. Morrow King gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Play broke down as he tried to make that extra play, or that extra move, I should say, out to that right side. I believe it was Julius Buchanan who got to him first for the Generals.
One of the things Coach Carney's got to be considering is you've got the middle 3 on that offensive line. They're 310, 323, and 320. If they can get a little more action, fake it to that fullback, and then have Morrow King pull that ball out and head to the outside, you got a better chance than him just taking off right off the bat.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11 from the 22. Single receiver is Sanford, split to the right. They'll run the option. Morrow King cuts it back at the hash, gets it inside the 20 down to about the 17-yard line. Pickup of about 4, both Battle and Buchanan there to bring Morrow King down.
Buchanan's been involved in 6 tackles already this evening. Extremely active.
He's had a darn good year at linebacker. He's got 1 forced fumble. He's recovered 5 on the year so far.
And 2 interceptions.
And 2 interceptions,
Quite a combination.
Right. So a gain of 5 sets up a 3rd and 6. Ball at the general 17-yard line. Tight across the line of scrimmage. Single receiver split to the right is Sanford. King on the move to the right, looking for Sanford. Ball up in the end zone, and it's going to be ruled incomplete. Thrown in a double coverage that time. Sherrod and King, the bookends on the receiver Sanford.
Yeah, once again, that fit the pattern of throwing the ball up, see if he can come down with the rebound.
6'2", 190 goes Sanford, and again King trying to let his height advantage back there on the safeties. Justice King going 5'9", Keontae Sherrod going 6'1". So 4th down. Burgolder's going to go for it. Last time they went for it on 4th down, they got the touchdown to Shannon Stanford. See if they run that same play. They will. They're looking for Sanford in the end zone. Ball up. Sanford up to get it. Penalty marker down. And see a signal yet from the officials. Let's take one more look. There was a flag on the play. Might have been right there. And boy, tough to tell if he got foot down. Justice King was the defender back there on Sanford. Charles Heinz and his crew have been busy so far tonight. Meanwhile, Sanford was slow to get up, finally back under his own power, walking back to his sideline. Here's the call from Charles Heinz.
Pass interference, number 2 defense. Score.
Well, they're going to give him the touchdown, so he got the feet down. So nice touchdown grab by Shannon Sanford, his 2nd of the ball game. Amaru King, his 2nd touchdown toss of the night. One more look here.
You have a quarterback that's only thrown 18 passes coming into the game, and so far 2 touchdown tosses.
So a 2-point conversion away from tying this one up. Amaru King will get them set at the line. He's going to try and go back to Sanford for the 2-point conversion, and he does. A quick post route that time, right in front of Justice King. And the Burgolders have tied this one up at 14. As we take another look, quick slant over the middle. Justice King, the defender, not much there. So we're tied at 14. Again, tune into the Wendy's Varsity Blitz High School Scoreboard Show. Mike McGivern welcomes former South Milwaukee head coach John Galuski this week, who sits in for Ron Davies. What is this, Ron on vacation every week? What's going on here? Get the updates from all the key high school football games in the area. That's tomorrow night from 7 to 10, only on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. How do I get a gig like that?
Well, I think perhaps he's been spending some of the money he's had buried in his backyard in all those cans.
All right, let's head down to Mike McGivern. Mike, what you got?
First of all, Ron is on vacation, so at least he tells me that. Hey, the coaching staff from King wants to know, was that a catch? Did that kid from Washington catch that ball?
Yes, he did, yeah.
He did. Okay, that's what they're asking me, so I will get back to those boys. I couldn't see it from where I was at. Thanks, fellas.
You bet. Yeah, the replay, a couple of replays, we showed the catch, and I think it was a question whether or not he kept his feet in is what they were looking at, but it looked like he made the catch out there in that back corner of the end zone.
Well, that matchup of the 5'9" defensive back against the 6'2" receiver, the odds are going to favor that tall, lanky receiver who has that excellent hands.
Because that penalty occurred and they accepted a touchdown, they'll move the kickoff into King general territory here. Sherrod, who's had 2 touchdown receptions tonight, will kick this one away. They'll be taken by Justice King. We'll get it across the 10, just short of the 20-yard line. McQuan Beasley Defensive back on the defensive side of the ball on special teams that time for the Pergolders with the tackle. So King will take it on their own 20-yard line. 2.5 minutes to go here in this first half. A tie ball game. And the Generals with one timeout.
Yeah, up to this point, the King just doesn't seem to have a lot of rhythm going on offense. And that's something I'm pretty sure they'd like to establish before they go in at halftime.
Both teams costly penalties tonight. Sandy now having some trouble. They're short a player. They're waiting for Lindsey Hudson to make his way back on the field. If they don't get this one off, they're going to get a delay game. And the back judge actually took the timeout because the kicking tee was still on the field. That bailed King out. How about that one? How about that one, folks? He's ready to count that one down as they were waiting for Lindsey Hudson to make his way on the field, and as the back judge was backing up, tripped over the kicking tee as Hudson gets the call, and he'll be stopped in the backfield for a loss. Loss of 5. It was Stokes, Elliott Stokes in there, linebacker for the Pergolders. So Washington with a little fire right now as they've come back to tie this game up.
Right now they seem to have the enthusiasm playing on their side.
Loss of 5, 2nd and 15. Ball at their own 15-yard line. Again, give it to Hudson. Hudson trying to get the edge left side. Now cuts it upfield. Got back just short of the 20-yard line. May have stepped out just before he got to the 20. That'll stop the clock with 1:44 to go here in the half.
Milwaukee King running under an unbalanced set that time. The strong side was to their left, trying to get the toss and get around, but Washington, defensively is moving very well to the ball and is stuffing that play up.
So a gain of 4 sets up a 3rd and 11 now for the Generals. Go double wides each side here. Sadly runs the draw play to Lindsey Hudson. Nowhere to go. Hudson able to get bailed out as he was able to recover. Gets it back out to the 20-yard line. Gets a gain of 1. Nice job by the Pergolders. They didn't panic. They kept him inside. Daniel Hinkle there on the stop. His 5th tackle tonight. Little draw play there, Coach. But all that running around, at least the Pergolders didn't panic. They kept him in sight.
Yeah, your offensive linemen on that draw have got to get those pass rushers to go to the outside so you create that seam up the middle. And Washington at that time collapsed the offensive line.
Dino to punt. It's a good snap. Dino gets off a short punt. Takes a forward bounce across the 40 and will roll dead at the 44-yard line. Just a 24-yard punt. So with 44 seconds left, Pergolders have one timeout remaining and an opportunity here. Maybe take a couple of shots here if you've got the King and Sanford connection working so far tonight.
I would imagine we might see another ball tossed up there and see if he can outleap the defensive back.
So Theo Carney talking things over with his quarterback, Amaro King. Crowd on hand here on the King fans here on this side of the press box side of the Custer Stadium tonight. Enjoying this one.
King has always had excellent fan support, be it basketball, football. It's a school that takes pride in their athletic accomplishments.
And Amaro King just going to take the knee. Boy, that's surprising. I figured you'd take maybe one more shot because you've had the advantage back there with Sanford, the wide receiver, the height advantage on the secondary, and Amaro King electing to take a couple of knees here to end this first half.
I'm not quite sure whether Coach Carney's content with where he is or this is done in deference to King's ability.
So surprising here is the Pergolders will take a couple of knees to end our first half here tonight, but a pair of touchdown passes from Amaro King to Shannon Sanford. The last one coming here in the final 2 minutes of this first half, and the 2-point conversion to Sanford, able to tie this one up at 14. King getting on the board early with that safety off the first possession, and then coming right back and scoring the touchdown, but missing the 2-point conversion. They had an 8-0 lead in this ball game, so I think if you're the Pergolders, you got to be pleased with where you're at here through the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, I think Washington should feel good about where they stand right now. It's one of those things, though, you got to be careful not to take the foot off the gas if you've got the other team kind of on its heels. But I'm sure as halftime, both coaches will be pointing out, okay, we've got another half to go. It's 0-0 as far as we're concerned, and let's get on top of our games.
So the Generals and Pergolders knotted at 14 through one half here at Custer Stadium in Milwaukee. Our Thursday night lights in the City Conference tonight on My 24.
He was in.
It's the American Family Insurance Halftime Report, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Thursday night lights tonight in City Conference night, Custer Stadium. Washington and King knotted up at 14. A pair of touchdown receptions by Shannon Sanford, both excellent receptions. His last one back of the end zone in front of 2 defenders, hung onto the football and kept his feet in the end zone. And King getting a safety and a touchdown runs from Elisha Eichelman and Lindsey Hudson so far tonight, along with that safety on that tackling the punter in the end zone. And that's where we stand here after one half of play, where earlier Kara had an opportunity to sit down with John Griffiths, general manager of Menards, for this interview.
Thanks, guys. I've got John Griffiths, general manager of the Germantown Menards store. We're standing right in front of Menards, and thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
And we could not be more thrilled to have you a part of the 2014 Thursday Night Lights football series. Can you tell me a little bit about Menards as a company?
Menards has 285 stores. We opened our first retail store in Wisconsin in 1960. We're in 14 Midwest states. Our home office is based right here in Wisconsin in Eau Claire, and we have 12 stores right here in the Milwaukee area.
So obviously we see a lot of customers coming through your doors. We've got moms, dads, and student athletes who also happen to be employees of the store.
Menards has been a proud sponsor of the WIAA for many years. Even Menards stores has several team members throughout the Milwaukee area that are student athletes that work at our stores, so we can certainly understand the teamwork and dedication that they put forth to have success not only here at Menards, but during the football season. So we can really appreciate everything that the community, the families, and teachers help the student athletes with.
And thank you very much for being here. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
We would really like to wish both teams from Milwaukee, Washington, and King the best tonight. May the best team win, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast.
Thank you. And back to you guys upstairs.
Kara and John, thank you so much. And again, we welcome Menards to our 2014 edition of Thursday Night Lights here on My 24. So, got both coaches in the locker room right now. Terry, what are they talking about right now?
Well, I think King is trying to say, you know, maybe we were coming in here a little confident. Now we've been forced to have to play full tilt. You've got to let yourself go. On the other hand, Washington is just going to say, hey, I told you we could play with these guys. Now go out, be confident, go out, get the next score.
King and Washington tied at 14 here at the half at Custer Stadium. Our American Family Insurance halftime show will continue right after this on My 24. It's the American Family Insurance halftime report here at Custer Stadium in Milwaukee. Washington and King knotted up at 14 apiece. And we head downstairs, Kara, with a very special guest from the United States Army.
Thanks, fellas. I've got Sergeant Stephen Mullins with the United States Army with me here. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And now, why did you join the Army?
I joined the Army for the benefits that it provides for my family and myself, and for the leadership and the discipline that I get through basic training, and how it would further my career and help me out.
And now, what would you say are the benefits of playing youth sports before you enlist in the Army?
The teamwork that you get for just feeling a part of a team and having that guy next to you or that girl next to you, and you guys are practicing together, hours in the day, and for all the great sportsmanship that it brings.
And I know you mentioned something about discipline, and I'm sure they learn quite a bit of discipline here on the field. And what connection do you have with youth sports personally?
While I was growing up, I played youth sports all my life. I played football, basketball, baseball, soccer. I was always in sports. It always kept me busy and it kept me out of trouble. So I enjoyed it. I love playing sports.
Good, and so you've got quite a connection here. Well, thank you again for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And now back to you guys upstairs.
Kara, thank you, and Sergeant Mullins, we thank you for your service to the country as you continue on with the U.S. Army. 14-14, King and Washington tonight in a tussle here at Custer Stadium as we get set to bring you our highlights brought to you by the United States Army, Army Strong. As the Pergolders take their way out of the tunnel early on, and it was King taking advantage of that short punt off of the free kick, I should say, off of the sack of the end zone on the punter and the safety, and they get up 8-0. But then Amaro King on 4th down, beautiful run to his right, and an excellent catch, first of 2 touchdowns tonight by Shannon Sanford. And for King, they came right back as well as Lindsey Hudson capped off a drive, aided by a penalty on a personal foul call, a 1-yard run. That brought them up 14-6. But then late here in the second quarter, almost the same exact pattern. They throw it into double coverage, and it was Sanford for the reception, and then the 2-point conversion on the slant route. And the Pergolders knotted this one up at 14.
Well, Sanford doesn't give up on that ball. He's going to contest it all the way. And once again, he's got King right on the ropes a little bit, and so Washington has to be feeling very good about where they are coming into the second half.
Again, our halftime highlights brought to you by the United States Army, Army Strong. Third quarter coming up next. Washington and King here at Custer Field in Milwaukee right after this on My 24. Knotted up at 14 as we get set for our third quarter here at Custer Stadium in Milwaukee. Again, a great big thank you to the great folks at Economy Lift Rental for helping bring these great pictures to you tonight. They have provided the scissor lift for our cameras this season, so for any aerial platform need, rental, sales, or service, give Mike and Sue a call at Economy Lift Rental or visit them online at economylifts.com. That phone number, 262-650-1882. King Generals will get the second half kickoff. Line drive kickoff that'll be picked up by one of the short men there. That was Justice King taking it out short of the 35-yard line. Stephen Edwards there for the Pergolders on the stop. So King getting the ball to start our second half. They had won the coin toss and deferred here to the second half. So they'll get the opening possession to begin our third quarter.
It'll be interesting to see if King tries to take advantage of Colin Sathe, who so far this season has rushed for almost 6 yards a carry. He was almost non-existent in terms of running game in that first half.
Sathe's surveying the line of scrimmage. Single back is Lindsey Hudson. They'll try and sling it out far side. They'll complete the pass. And on his feet across midfield, Keontae Sherrod, the flanker, 6'1", 175 senior. Gain of about 13 and a Terzana Menard first down brought down by Stephen Baker. Let me remind you that Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Simply log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You can also find complete game videos and photos from this season's games. We've got an injured player down for the Generals.
Yeah, I think that's number 51, Liam Arnold, a 6 foot, 230-pound sophomore. Another sophomore, number 50, Darren Banks. Looks like he's come out to replace him. 6 foot, 210-pound sophomore.
Didn't quite see what happened. It was behind the play as they went quickly to a toss out to the left side. Get the first down into Pergolder territories. We head down to our sidelines, and Mike McGivern, who do you have for us down there?
Hey guys, how cool was that halftime show? That was awesome. I've got the director of dance and the president of the dancers. How long have you been the president?
Been the president starting this year, and it's been a wonderful ride.
It's been fun?
It's been fun.
You're new to director of dance. Are you enjoying this?
Yes.
You guys did a great job at halftime. That was really fun.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Boys, they want me to join. I got a little disco move left, but I don't know much yet after that. So we'll get a little audition after the game here.
All right. I'll pay to see that one. How about you, Terry?
In the front row.
He probably has a silver ball spinning above him in that studio when he's on the air.
From the 47 of Washington. Sethi going downfield, and it's broken up. Incomplete pass was thrown short, looking for Sherrod. It was Laquan Robinson out there. Break that one up for the Pergolders. So Sethi looking to unleash the arm that time, going down the left sideline.
Yeah, Sethi also, besides being an all-conference quarterback last year as a freshman, also started for the baseball team.
Got his feet set nicely, just a little bit underthrown, and lucky that wasn't intercepted. 2nd and 10. Ball at the Washington 47-yard line. Again, Sethi wants to throw now on the scramble, and he's going to run right into the defender, Shannon Sanford. Sanford having an outstanding game on both sides of the football tonight for the Pergolders, able to step in and make the tackle.
Yeah, one of the players not in there right now, we noticed as they came out from halftime, number 33, Elisha Ikumen, seemed to be hobbled up.
Liam Arnold also back in there now, I believe, for the Generals. He had left for a couple of plays there, was hurt on that last play. He's back in there at right tackle. So loss of 3 brings up 3rd and 13. And the Generals again forced to take a timeout. Confusion on offense. Not on the right page tonight. The quarterback, Sethi, and the offensive coordinator, Duke O'Keefe Betcher. He's going to have a discussion out there with his offense. Theo Carney, head coach for Milwaukee, Washington, on that far sideline.
Yeah, Theo Carney's trying to get Washington to make that next step as far as playoffs. He's, helped guide Washington to the playoffs the past 3 seasons, I believe. And unfortunately, they found themselves matched up to some excellent teams and have gone out in that first round. But once again, he's trying to build the pride in what they've accomplished. And, why not us? Why don't we take that next step, win that first game?
So the Generals forced to take a timeout here, facing 3rd and long, 3rd and 13 from midfield. Duke O'Keefe Betcher, the offensive coordinator for the Generals. As his team set here, they'll go empty backfield, trips to the right, double receivers to the left. Sethi from the gun, wants to swing it out, and it's incomplete. Was looking for Ikumen that time, and 83, I believe, was the intended player out there. DeAndre Hill-Stanton was the intended target. Took his eye off the ball. I think he saw the Pergolder defense coming up right in the face that time.
And if you're going to throw that quick screen, that other receiver out there has to give you a block so you got a chance to take that ball in and turn upfield.
So 4th down, and Santino on to punt here for the Generals. It's a low snap. Dino with trouble, and he got it away somehow. Got that one away. It takes a bounce. Now it's loose. It touched a Pergolder player at the 31-yard line. King says they have it.
I think they'll need to watch this carefully because there might have been first touching by King before it bounced off.
I thought so here on the near sideline, and I don't know if the officials have picked it up. Maybe they'll discuss this here. I believe it's going to be Washington ball because of that. Good pickup on your part there, Coach.
One of my eyes works anyway, so.
First touching by Blue, then recovered by Blue. White's ball at the spot of first touching. First down.
Because that ball hit the turf on the way back to the punter, and it opened him up that time, so no roughing the kicker call. And as you see there, right there, it deflected off the King player right away. So Washington will retain possession. Their own 33-yard line. Their first possession here, third quarter, in a tie game. Morrow King. Run the option, got the pitch back, but he was hit as he pitched it back. Ball loose. They still dive for it back near the 20-yard line. This time King thinks they have it, and the Generals do. Lindsey Hudson, I believe, able to break that one up. So we'll take one more look. I think Buchanan may have recovered. Let's see here. That was the Darius McElroy who forced the ball out of the hands of Morrow King. And it was Lindsey Hudson who came up with the recovery for the Generals.
Here's that unbalanced look now to the right side again.
They'll run it that right side. They'll give it to Hudson. Breaks the tackle. Hudson with some room. Another tackle broken inside the 10. Hudson going to the end zone. Touchdown King. Late penalty marker thrown as he was taken to the turf. But what a run by Lindsey Hudson. 25 yards in the right up the right side for the score. We take one more look. 3 different times Washington had him stopped. Once in the backfield. 2, 3, and then last man in there, Daniel Hinkle, unable to control him. Nice job there.
After the score, unnecessary roughness, number 10 White. Score is good. Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
And Hinkle penalized for the throwdown that time after the score. So King now retakes the lead, going for 2.
Hudson, a wrestler in addition to playing football. You can see his toughness there and his balance.
Aikman, the offset fullback to the left. Hudson, tailback. As they go for 2 here. Play action fake. Sathy going to toss it into the back of the end zone. Nice catch for the 2-point conversion. Gets that one back to Deshaun Martin. Deshaun Martin on the reception on the 2-point conversion.
One of Sathy's better looking passes this evening. Did that unbalanced and rolled away from it.
So a 22-14 lead now for the Generals, taking advantage of the turnover on the forced fumble. Buchanan knocking the ball away from Morrow King, and then the recovery by Lindsey Hudson, and then Hudson next play able to take it in for the score. And now because of that roughing penalty, King is going to kick from the Pergolder 45-yard line.
We'll see if they try another squib kick if they're still so afraid of Amari King returning the ball, but I think they have to be careful. Sometimes you can outthink yourself if you keep giving him great field position. King might not have had the ball, but if you're starting him almost at the 40 or midfield or better, you maybe have negated your strategy.
This might be a good time for one of those screaming liners off the front line. He's going to kick this one away. And Stokes trying to get around the right side. Breaks a tackle, cuts it back left across the 20, 25, 30. Down the near sideline is Stokes across midfield and brought down from behind. Touchdown saving tackle that time by Vivaretti. As Elliott Stokes. A little bit of excitement here for the Pergolders. Tried to go right side, saw it closing up. Actually had a defender back there immediately. That was Justice King. They cut it back to the near sideline. So the Pergolders answer with good field position of their own. The general 45-yard line. And a big thank you to Derzan and Menard, our first down sponsors all season long here on Thursday Night Lights. Morrow King will hand it off. This is Laquan Robinson, nowhere to go. May have squeezed out a yard that time. Again, Julius Buchanan, 7th tackle tonight for the Generals.
Yeah, once again, we have to see if Washington can take advantage of that trio of 300-pounders in the middle of their line. Try to wear down King a little bit. They do have a size advantage on King, and so Washington, let's see if they're going to try to grind it out a little bit.
Shannon Sanford with 2 touchdown receptions tonight, split out to the right side for the Pearl Golders. Henry in the fullback, and the give is to the tailback. Robinson cuts it back left side. Robinson gets to the 40-yard line, down to the 39 where he is wrapped up there. Lindsey Hudson there, along with Kane Rogers. Gain of about 4 here. We'll set up a 3rd and 4 here for the Pearl Golders. Ball just inside the general 40-yard line.
Yeah, Robinson, another one of those two-way players. Excellent speed. He's rushed for over 520 yards so far this season.
And Robinson getting over to the far sideline. Was injured on that play, made it over on his own power. Big burst of speed here by Keontae May. May gets the first down inside the 30, down to the 26-yard line. Buchanan finally wrestled him to the turf. Heads up run that time by Keontae Mays, the 6-foot senior. Boy, he blasted through that hole.
Hole opened up, nice seam appeared on that. Number 33 led the way through that, Anthony Hanrahan.
So Derzan and Bernard first down here for Washington. The King 26-yard line. Give it again to May. May breaking tackles inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. Looks like Tim Robinson, one of the defensive ends, able to make the play for King.
Yeah, they're starting to have some success now probing that middle. Be interesting to see if Amaru pulls that ball out and continues to the outside. But of course, when you're getting 7-8 yards of crack, you might not want to bother with that.
From the 17-yard line, May again. May trying to go up the middle. Jawan Battle stood his ground that time for the Generals. Markham short, 3rd and inches here. To get it just to the nose of the football, just across the 16-yard line for the first down. Again, Hanrahan. And they're along with May, the running tandem. And Amuro King wants to throw, scrambling right, now cuts it upfield, first down inside the 10. Breaks the tackle down to the 5-yard line where he's wrestled out of bounds by Lindsey Hudson. Amuro King so dangerous when he gets that edge, when they are able to set that edge on the sprint. We had a penalty on the play as well, so Hanrahan, the fullback, whistled for the holding call. So they'll mark it off from the spot of the foul. Costly penalty here, takes him out of a 1st and goal situation.
And Washington had responded very well to that score, coming down the field and kind of driving the ball on them. All of a sudden you get that setback. Now you have to see, can your team quickly readjust? It's almost one of those momentum changes. Now, you know, where's your confidence level?
Because it was marked off from the spot, takes him from, it would have been a 3rd and 11 now, 3rd and about 16 here. Fumble on the snap, ball's on the turf, still loose, and it's going to be picked up by the Generals. Amuro King tried to pick that one up, but Kane Rogers had the lucky bounce, came right up into his chest. He was able to smother it, and for the 2nd time tonight, the King defense forcing a turnover. One more look here. King looked like backed off the snap, a half count. Didn't quite get to that ball from his center, Darian Casey.
And Kane Rogers swept right in, picked that ball up.
So the Generals able to come away with their 2nd takeaway. Well, spotted at the 46 of King, 1st and 10, Generals. Derzan and Menard, 1st and 10. So Hampton in now at a fullback, along with Hudson, the tailback. The give is to Hudson. Hudson breaks a tackle across midfield. Takes it into Pergolder territory. Keontae May able to make the tackle for Washington. Pickup of about 6 will set up a 2nd and 4 just inside Washington territory. Again, they'll get it out to to the wide receiver DeAndre Hill. Stanton breaks tackles, and he'll take it into the end zone for 6. DeAndre Hill Stanton, his first touchdown tonight, and King takes advantage of the fumble recovery and goes up 2 scores.
That's it, 6th touchdown reception of the year, and once again another one of those players who plays basketball. Excellent balance and a burst of speed. Breakaway, head into the end zone for 6.
Second time they've been able to work a touchdown off the fumble recovery, and takes a 28-14 lead.
2 plays before that, Coach Carney had something happen. He probably didn't want to see Shannon Sanford kind of limped off the field. Critical to both offense and defense.
They'll go for 2. The fade back of the end zone. Leaping grab. He was in for 2. Beautiful reception by Keontae Sherrod, the senior, on the fade route to the corner. And Rufus King now up 30-14 as we take our break. Couple of turnovers going the way of King. And they're up 2 scores here on Washington. Third quarter action on Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Pair of fumble recoveries turned into points here in this second half, and the Generals have opened up a 30-14 lead on Milwaukee, Washington. Thursday Night Lights from Custer Stadium in Milwaukee. Well, with Mike McGivern and Kara, Terry Kelly and John Weiser with you. Exciting one here tonight. A little bit of everything tonight, as again they'll try that low spinner. And Washington going to fall on it at the 34-yard line. 54-yard play, 1 play, 54 yards for the touchdown strike as we head to the sidelines and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, Bill Molbeck, Commissioner of Athletics, MPS. Bill, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Hey, you know what? Co-op with some of the sports teams at MPS is very important, good and the bad, but you guys take full advantage of it.
Yeah, we do. It really gives some of the schools that don't have as many kids or maybe wouldn't be able to have a football program or some of the other sports that we do, gives those kids at those schools a chance to participate in those sports.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you know what? More participation, the better. I know the tough part is busing and traveling and stuff, but you guys do a great job.
Yeah, the busing adds a new dimension to that, but it really does help those programs and those kids at those schools. So we really take advantage of it.
It's Bill Molbeck does a nice job for MPS. Boys, back to you up in the booth.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Bill, and appreciate having us out here tonight. Keontae May, the ball carrier, he's starting to get the load here in this second half. I think Laquan Robinson a little dinged up as well.
Yeah, both teams kind of battling injuries, although Sanford is back in the game for Washington.
May spinning out of a tackle, taking a couple of Generals with him. Brought down by Lindsey Hudson, along with Kevin Hampton. So sets up a 3rd and about 6 here for the Pergolders. Get a couple of turnovers here, costly for Washington tonight. 3rd and 6. May tried to make a cut, lost his footing, and the Generals were able to close for a loss. Battle was right there, Jawan Battle. He's had a nice night tonight, the junior captain on that defensive line. Let's take one more look.
Elijah Rosanato is also out there, the sophomore. Very good lateral movement by the King defense.
Going to look at Coach Wozniak, head football coach for Milwaukee King. So 4th down. Burgolder's all kinds of confusion here as to whether or not they're going to punt. King also running players in and out. And Washington's going to burn a timeout. Their first timeout here of this second half. A lot of confusion. Players going in and out on both sides. So well, the most anticipated news show of the season is speeding on to CW18. It's from the makers of Arrow. Don't miss The Flash. Tuesdays at 7. That starts October 7th on CW18.
The injury bug apparently has also bitten King. Number 33, Elijah Ickeman, been playing both offense and defense. He's got his shoe off, standing on the sidelines. Looked like it's a bum ankle. Once again, that's a critical loss.
Well, Saturday mornings from 10 to noon, Wendy's Varsity Blitz High School Coaches Show, presented by your local Pick and Save stores. This week's guest is Matt Harris, the first-year coach at Waukesha North. He'll be joined with Mike McGivern and Joe Cook. That's Saturday at 10 o'clock on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP, the Varsity Blitz High School Coaches Show. Invite you to tune in for that. 4:11 to go here, third quarter. Everybody's set now on this punt opportunity for Washington. Facing a 4th and 8. See Hudson back inside his own 35, awaiting the kick. Good snap back to Stokes. Rushed. There was contact, no flag. As on the scramble with it for King, it was Keontae Mack. He'll take it up to about the 43-yard line, we'll call it there. There was contact with the punter, but no call.
I'm not quite sure whether he rolled under him and he tripped. How'd they judge that?
Well, there was a block there at the last second. It looked like one of the Burgolders blocked the defender into the kicker, so it looked like a pretty good call there. So the Generals will take it at their own 43 at Derzan and Menard. First down here for King. They lead it by a score of 30-14. Under 4 minutes to go here in our third quarter. Seeley will hand this one off. Hudson picks his way up the middle, taking tacklers with him across midfield down to the Burgolder 45-yard line. Stephen Baker finally got him down.
Yeah, ran a simple little trap there, busted it through for a first down.
One more look here. Nice hole opened up. Lead blocker right in front.
Miles Crosby, a 6'2", 220-pound junior, leading the way.
Hudson again with a strong run to the far sideline. Penalty marker, though, on the play. This one may be coming back.
Holding, 42 blue, 10-yard penalty, assist from the spot of the foul.
Kelvin Hampton, the guilty party for King on the holding call. And from the spot of the foul, they'll run it back to the 47-yard line of the Generals.
Yeah, penalty has been an issue for both teams this evening in terms of stopping some drives and enabling the other team to also keep their drive going. So something that I'm sure headed forward they want to clean up.
Balanced line here to the left with Hudson the single back. They'll play fake to Hudson. Saley rolling to his right. Downfield as a man out there, underthrown and picked off. Intercepted here on the near side. Has taken it down the sideline is Kafid Smith. And it cuts it back to the middle of the field with a penalty flag on the ground. Kafid Smith, the 5'10 junior, picks off Colin Saley, the sophomore quarterback. It was, had a man out there, was just underthrown, Coach.
Yeah, I'm sure this is one Colin would like to have back. He threw way off his back foot, hung it up there. That same action once again of rolling away from the unbalanced line, trying to get outnumbered to the outside, and unfortunately the pick got thrown.
Deshaun Martin was the intended receiver.
On the play, illegal shift, offense, that penalty is refused. On the run back, we got a block in the back, that will be assessed from the spot. First down.
So a pair of penalties here, one to each team. But the important thing is the Pergolders will keep possession here. So it'll go as an interception for Kafid Smith. So Washington getting a turnover. King with 2 of them here in the ball game, and now Washington with their first takeaway tonight. Just over 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter, and it's a 2-score ball game yet. Hanrahan, the fullback. May the tailback here. And we got a whistle on the play. No, that's Laquan Robinson back in there, but flags thrown before the snap.
Dead ball, false start, 61 white, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
So 1st and 15 for King, or excuse me, for Washington. Morrow King.
As an offensive guard, the last thing you want to have is your number called for having goofed up and gotten the penalty. You don't get much notoriety as it is, and then that comes on your record.
It's 4 penalties for 40 yards now for Washington tonight. Morrow King tries to roll around right side, slips out of a tackle at the 5, keeps his feet. It's it out across the 20, 30, 35, and wrapped up there. Lindsey Hudson finally bringing a Morrow King down. About 12 on the play that time on the scramble from a Morrow King.
Rather than about an 8-yard loss, turns it into an 8-yard gain.
Well, he's an amazing player. He's an exciting player to watch. You got to keep an eye on him. Keep going till you get him on the ground. 2nd and 2. Give it to Robinson. Robinson struggles, may have gotten the line of scrimmage, may have eked out a yard as well. Kevin Hampton, defensive lineman there for the Generals. 5'8", 230-pound junior, able to make the stop. Quan Robinson, who left earlier with an injury, back in there. That's good news for the Pergolders. So 3rd and short. Call it 3rd and 1 here for Washington at their own 36-yard line. King rolling out, nothing doing there as he is met on the rollout that time and driven to the turf. Darius McElroy, 2nd tackle of the night, actually 2nd quarterback sack of the night for McElroy. Read that play well.
Yeah, that was a critical 3rd down for Washington. There you are, 3rd and short. And now you're going to wind up having to kick the ball back to King just after having gotten the ball back and stopping them.
So a loss of 10 sets up a 4th and 11 back at the 26-yard line. Stokes set to punt this one away. Keontae Sherrod near midfield awaiting the punt. Get a delay a game here on Washington. Boy, too much time trying to get this punt away.
Yeah, there was some confusion in terms of subbing. One of the wideouts on the right side got in there late, but it looked like the punter was still looking around, expecting to see a different player.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So Stokes moves 5 yards deeper toward his goal line. Now they'll switch up. They'll get Sherrod off. Delay allowed Lindsey Hudson to get back out there to return this punt. Stokes gets this one away. It'll take a bounce. Hudson will take at his own 45. Near sideline across midfield. Lindsey Hudson with some running room. Gets a block inside the 25-yard line and shoved out of bounds there. One block away from taking it all the way back. It was the punter Stokes who finally got to him. Also a penalty marker on the play. Been right there. Right at the tackle, a high hit there. We'll see. No penalty on the play. Okay, picked it up. So King will take over at the 21 of Washington here. Final 26 seconds of our third quarter.
Got that unbalanced line to the left once again.
This time they'll run that way with Hudson with plenty of running room. Hudson to the 10, to the 5, breaks a tackle, taking a tackler to the goal line, and he is stopped short. About the 2-yard line. 20-yard run that time by Lindsey Hudson down to the 2. Derzon and Menard, first and goal here for the Generals.
Got a little dip inside, cuts it back to the outside, turns it upfield.
Collie was trying to chase him down from behind. Penalty markers at the snap. Charles Hines, his crew tonight, busy. They'll wash those yellow hankies after this game tonight.
They might be putting in for some extra pay, having thrown the flag so many times.
There's no penalty. Ball was put in play too soon. Got to play a defensive player on the wrong side of the ball. We're going to replay. Reset the clock at 16 seconds.
Okay, so they want to reset the game clock to 16 seconds because there was no penalty. They're trying to quick snap that time, trying to catch Washington. The defense napping a little bit.
Spotter Eric Murray is pointing out that this little break and play has come at just the perfect time. Hudson, who's playing both ways, a little bit gassed. This gave him a chance to catch his breath.
So Seeley will line it up. First and goal from the 2. He'll keep it. Seeley to the end zone. Touchdown, King. Sadly, the touchdown run. Just a simple quarterback sneak. Just tap the center in the back of the leg and take it right up behind the center. Mitchell Belkow.
I'd follow a 5'10", 250-pound center. See what I can go at.
The captain will lead you to the end zone. Once again, they'll go for 2. Unbalanced to the right. They'll just toss it over the middle, and it's caught for the 2-point conversion. Keontae Sherrod, the flanker. Quick pass over the middle for the 2-pointer.
Got a little pop pass. He put it in there real quickly. They couldn't even respond.
38-14. Rufus King now. Some breathing room here. Late here in this third quarter. Again, Washington able to overcome the couple of turnovers here in the second half has really hurt their bid here to stay with the Generals.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as they look back on this game, if it continues the way it is presently, they're going to kind of look and say, geez, we had it, we were in the ball game, and we let it slide.
So a 38-14 lead for the Generals. And the game here in this conference, as I said, Washington 2-1 and King coming in at 2-0, and make the WIAA playoffs, you got to get 4 wins in conference. So it's a huge ball game for both teams. As we said, going out, King with the tougher schedule. They've got undefeated Bradley Tech on their slate next week, then Milwaukee South, and then close out the season against undefeated Riverside in conference play. They're going to win 2 of those 3, the way things stay right now. Kickoff will bounce back, taken by Robinson, and Robinson met at the 15-yard line and driven back there. Hampton downfield quickly on special teams to take care of Laquan Robinson. And that will end our third quarter here at Custer Stadium in Milwaukee. King Generals in control, 38-14 over Milwaukee, Washington. Our Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Generals up 38-14. King taking the lead here, pulling away from Milwaukee, Washington as we start our fourth quarter. Washington from their own 14-yard line. Moro King trying to set and throw, and he stumbled and is hit in the backfield and brought down. It's Kane Rogers once again back there defensively. Rosada in on the stop.
Yeah, Rosada, only a sophomore, and any number of plays we've seen tonight, he's come up and been in on the tackle.
So a loss of 4 sets up 2nd and 14. Ball back at the 10-yard line. This time they'll hand it off. Robinson trying to get the edge, but Generals were there. And once again, Lindsey Hudson right there on the stop, tracking him down.
Yeah, he's been on, both sides of the ball, doing an excellent job offensively and defensively. You can see why he was a first-team all-conference player last year.
Two-way player for King. Pair of touchdowns tonight and a fumble recovery for Hudson.
Pretty good night.
Just a little bit shy of 100 yards carrying the ball tonight, too. He's had a very good night on both sides. So 3rd and 12. Ball just across the 12-yard line. Amoro King on the run, and King going to be met and driven down back inside the 10-yard line. Both Hampton and McElroy were there. Able to take Amoro King down, and quickly 4th down upon the Pergolders here. And last time they were in this position, they had a bad snap, and everything that could happen happened in that safety to start our ball game. Let's head down to the sidelines and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, the coaching staff from King, the offensive coaching staff, talking to their players saying, look, you know what, we're going to run some clock, continue to play King football, and those stupid penalties, don't get caught up in any stuff here at the end of the game, and make sure that you take care of the ball. It's good advice.
Very good advice. As Stokes gets this one off the side of his foot, it will angle to the sideline and will roll inside the 20 and dead at the 17-yard line. Just a 7-yard punt. And King set up nicely here to put this one to bed early. Might have been blocked maybe. Deshaun Martin perhaps may have gotten a hand on it. We'll see. Washington has struggled their last 5 possessions now. 2 fumbles and 3 punts. King set up nicely. The Generals now can step on the gas pedal here. This is Hudson. Hudson picking his way inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Generals. Lindsey Hudson, his 3rd touchdown tonight. And King taking advantage of the short field. About to put this one out of reach.
I can understand why Coach Wozniak looks at Lindsey not only as his captain, but kind of his leader on and off the field.
So we'll go for 2 once again. They're short a player, I believe. Washington also short. Sneak one on here. Colin Sethi, the sophomore quarterback. Empty backfield. Spread everybody out. Rolling to his left, now comes back over the middle, ball tipped away, looking for Lindsey Hudson on the 2-point conversion. Was knocked away from Hudson, so the 2-point goes by the wayside. King, though, up 30 here in this fourth quarter. And this is a 14-all ball game at the half. More look here at the 2-point try as say they had to get rid of it. Colley was coming at him, and Hudson couldn't hang on.
You see what calm demeanor it seems Colin Sathey has as he's out there. That idea of the term field general. He seems to exude that even though he's only a sophomore.
So Hudson now 12 carries, 110 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also a fumble recovery tonight for Hudson, so outstanding two-way player here for the Generals tonight. Miles Crosby will tee this one up. Again, they've been kicking short here, not allowing the long return. This one will skim across the grass. It'll be picked up by Stokes. And Stokes again buries the shoulder, takes it out across midfield into general territory and out of bounds just across the 45 of King. It was Kelvin Matthew who finally rode him out for the Generals.
Yeah, the way Stokes rumbles up the field, you might want to consider kicking that ball another direction if you're trying to gain somewhat of an advantage.
Well, all season, Mike and Kara have had the opportunity to talk with sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sidelines and letting you know about the great things going on in the greater Milwaukee area and the communities we visit. Our sideline reports being brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. An injured player on that far side. Chris McCants, I believe, was injured on that kick coverage team for the Generals. But it'll be 1st and 10 for Washington at the General 45-yard line. Trying to get something going here. At this point, you got 9:15 to go here in the ball game. You got to extend a drive here. Close this one out with a nice drive if you're Washington here. King now being flushed around the pocket. Still on his feet, circles back the other way, gets a couple of blocks. Here comes King down the near side. Amaro King back to the line of scrimmage with a penalty marker down. All that rumbling, stumbling, bumbling, and it got back to the line of scrimmage. And Rosado again in on the stop. Had a nice second half here for the Generals. And yet another penalty marker. Both teams not going to be happy with the penalty count here tonight.
And number 70, John Juan
2 fouls
Battle.
on the play. What was the first one? Illegal formation. Second one was an illegal block in the back, number 76. We forced that penalty from the spot. 76.
So 2 penalties on the play. Joe Ward being called for the block in the back here as we take one more look from the end zone. Right there. It's thrown by the referee.
2 fouls on the play. Illegal formation is refused. Illegal block in the back is assessed from the spot of the foul, 10 yards, and it's still first down.
It's been the story tonight for the Pergolders, just haven't been able to get out of their own way.
Right. Now King's Jawan Battle, who's had an outstanding game in the defensive line, he's come out. I don't know whether there was a kind of a crackback block on him as Amaro King was scrambling all over the place.
Another penalty marker down as King will take it up the near side. Amaro King brought down from behind. Chased down by Kane Rogers that time from behind, but we'll have to check out the penalty marker at the line of scrimmage. Good run for Amaro King out to the 45.
Illegal formation, 6 men on the line on White. 5-yard penalty.
So it'll be another loss on that play. And again, you know, Coach, we talk about that. These are some fundamental things for the players on that line of scrimmage. You can walk up to the line, ask if you're up close to the line of scrimmage, and the official will tell you.
You know, Theo Carney's words, we have to eliminate the stupid penalties. When you have a penalty that occurs because you're going full tilt and, you know, maybe you block a guy from behind because you're trying to get in position, that's one thing. But when you line up offside or you false start, those are the kinds of things that can age Coach Carney. Wonder if Coach Alvarez would recognize him from that 1990 class.
So 1st and 35 for the Pearl Golders. This time they'll try and get it. Robinson around the far sideline, out of bounds near the 30-yard line, just shy of the 30. Keontae Sherrod, his 5th tackle tonight for the Generals.
Yeah, there are not a lot of plays in your playbook when you're looking at 2nd and about 38.
Goes back to what I said earlier on this drive. If you're Washington, just get a positive drive here, get some yards, get in the end zone. At least leave here tonight with a good taste and, you know, build on something here to take into the film room. King gonna air it out. Amaro King has a receiver out there, makes a play for the ball, makes the catch. Beautiful reception, Kafid Smith with the catch. Take one more look here.
Yeah, Jadise King could not quite keep up there.
It's a 5'10" junior just going up, makes the catch. And we got 2 flags back at the line of scrimmage as well. So I think this is going to wipe out what was a nice catch by Kafid Smith. Again, if you're just joining us, Shannon Sanford left this ball game here early here in the 3rd quarter with some sort of injury, I believe, and it's been Smith who's been, or I should say, yeah, Kafid Smith who's been out there working the slot, the split end.
Shannon Safford, they've worked him back in a couple plays, but he's been getting matched up against Keontae Sherrod. You can tell that he wants to, you know, go long and just have Amaru King throw the ball up to him. But the way that he's being covered by Sherrod just takes that play right away.
Another holding call.
Coach Carney might be up to about age 52 now.
And King runs into his own player in the backfield, now breaks free, still on the run, throws it back over the middle. Dangerous pass, and the catch is made. My goodness, Daniel Hinkle makes the catch across the 31-yard line. Daniel Hinkle catching a dangerous ball with Amaro King rolling to his right, throwing back over the middle, and yet another penalty marker down as Eddie makes the stop.
Ineligible number 77 is downfield.
Now, this is all bottoming out here for Milwaukee, Washington. Another nice play, but negated by a bad penalty here. Man downfield, an eligible man downfield when the lineman broke that 3-yard barrier.
And with Amaro King scrambling around there, it's tough to sometimes fault the lineman.
Yeah.
They're not quite sure exactly where he's located at that point in time, but you know, it's been penalty after penalty after penalty.
Still sorting this one out. Wasn't a first down. I don't know what the discussion is about here. There's your penalties tonight. Total penalties
Illegal,
thrown,
the man
19.
downfield is declined. It's 4th down.
Figured King or Generals would decline it, but Washington tonight, 14 flags for 125 yards.
That really puts a crimp in your style. There's no doubt about that.
It's a lot of laundry tonight. Again, Amaro King under pressure. Fakes. And now we'll just take it upfield and he'll be brought down. Quan Holmes able to chase him down. Holmes, a defensive lineman. Reserve defensive lineman in there now for the Generals, able to make the stop, brings up 4th down. Clock will continue to roll as we approach 7 minutes remaining here at Custer tonight. Stokes will come on to punt this one away. Keontae Mack standing deep for the Generals, back near his own 30-yard line. Short players again. So play is stopped once again. The officials stopping play. The umpire and the referee and the head linesman all lumped together in a discussion. I think it should be. May have lost track of the downs here. While they get that sorted out, we haven't lost track of where Charlie Cena and the boys have moved to. They've got a new home. Don't miss 2.5 Men. Weeknights at 5 and 5:30 on Milwaukee's My 24. May have lost track.
The correct down is 4th down. Washington's ball.
So it is 4th down. In all this excitement, I think I lost track of downs.
I think the officials did too for a while. They're so busy throwing the flag. I think they're having a difficult time looking at the down marker.
So Stokes into punt. This time they'll bring Sherrod out there now to receive this punt. This time a low snap. Stokes gets this one away, an end-over-end kick. Sherrod will get away from it and will roll dead at the 34-yard line. 27-yard punt, no return, and so it'll set up a 1st and 10 for the Generals. They lead it by a score of 44-14. Again, King takes on Bradley Tech next week. That should be a pretty good tussle as Tech comes into this week's play 3-0 in City Conference action.
Yeah, they're competing for the crown, not only for the playoff spot. I think one of the first goals, obviously, before you move into the playoffs, you want to win your conference.
Meanwhile, for the Pergolders, they will take on Riverside next week. And they close out the year against Riverside, Vincent, and Morse Marshall. So 1st and 10 Generals from their own 34-yard line. And on the carry for King.
Elliot Stokes got in
on the tackle, but it was Kelvin Hampton on the carry. Hampton, one of his first carries tonight for the Generals. Gain of about 5, sets up 2nd and 5 at the 39.
Yeah, this offensive set for King, not only is it unbalanced, they have a tight bunch with 3 receivers, all, as the name implies, bunched together.
Hampton ran into his own man, able to make some yardage out of it across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Stokes there again, his 5th tackle tonight. Short of the 1st down, will set up a 3rd and a good 1. Clock continues to roll, 5.5 minutes to go in this one.
I'm sure Duke O'Keefe Betcher, the offensive coordinator, would just like to keep getting 1st downs, keep that clock moving.
3rd and 1, and jumping offside, anticipating the snap count that time. Shannon Sanford over there in that linebacker spot. Did he make contact? March it off against the Pergolders.
Foul, encroachment defense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's going to be a 1st down here because it took him across the 1st down marker, so it'll be 1st and 10 at Derzana Menard, 1st down via the penalty here for the Generals. So now, as we said, this is where King can keep it between the hash marks here. So try a little end around play to Hill Stanton. DeAndre Hill Stanton down the far sideline. See you later. into the night goes DeAndre Hill-Stanton for the touchdown.
Second time he's been able to sprint away from the defense as he comes around that corner.
53 yards on the scamper this time by DeAndre Hill-Stanton. Once he got back through at second level, he was off to the races. Able to outrun Demisio Maddox.
I imagine he's quite a sight breaking down the basketball court on a fast break. 6'3", 180-pound junior.
So once again, the Generals will go for 2. And Hampton, second effort, did he get in? He did. 2-point conversion successful. 52-14. And we'll have a running clock here in the final 4:54. And we'll take our fourth quarter break. 52-14. Generals in control here on Thursday Night Lights on My 24.
Washington 14. And in fact, now we have the WIA rule.
38 second half points tonight for the King Generals, and they've blown this game open here in the second half, taking advantage of short fields and turnovers here in the second half.
Now, Coach Carney's got a challenge ahead of him, you know, that played even with these guys for a half, and now all of a sudden the house has caved in on you. All right, how do you get your players to respond this next week? You've got to move forward. You've got to win 2 out of your last 3 games. So he's got a real coaching job, he and his staff, ahead of him to try to get things put back in order.
Crosby for the kick. We'll squirt this one on the ground. They'll pitch it back to Amuro King. And King going to get bottled up just across his own 25-yard line. Good job by the Generals to get down on coverage. And we'll have continuous clock here. So the 35-point rule. So I said, going back to that last series, all those penalties, that's not the way you want to leave this ball game tonight. You want to look for one more good drive, something you can put on the positive film side when you get your team back together in a couple of days. You want to break them down, then build them back up.
Right. You've got that first half to watch, and you can say, all right, here's what we can do. And then you're going to show them the second half, and you're going to say, here's what we did when we did not concentrate, didn't pay attention to assignments, and now let's make those corrections and move forward.
Turnovers, short field penalties tonight, a big problem for the Pergolders. 1st and 10, Washington from their own 27. Amuro King rolls out right, looks to throw, and it is broken up, incomplete, nearly intercepted that time. Kane Rogers out there, stepping in front of the intended receiver, Kafid Smith.
Another one of the King defenders who's had a very good evening tonight, Kane Rogers. He's broken up passes, fumble recovery. He's got himself 6 tackles. Good night's work.
2nd and 10 from the 27. Double wides. And King under pressure almost immediately, and down he goes. No chance at all for Amuro King that time. They were in the backfield as he was just started to make his drop. Von Hall, a sophomore reserve defensive tackle, credited with the sack.
Got a couple of younger players in the ball game for King right now. You've got 99 Braxton Paris, junior, 6 feet 180. Number 60 Devin Hall, another sophomore.
Loss of 7, 3rd and 17. Quick drop this time for Amuro King. He's going to go down the far sideline. Has a man out there, and it's broken up, incomplete. Nice play out there once again defensively for the Generals. And Cortez Harris right out there to knock it down and away from Smith that time.
You know, Cortez Harris, interesting side note on that. On King's roster this year, they have 2 deaf players, Cortez Harris being one of those 2, Marquand Holmes the other. And I think, it's fantastic to have, your players be able to see a student who perhaps has some challenges, comes out, overcomes those, finds himself on the field making plays.
So 4th down. And once again, Washington has to take time out. They didn't have enough guys out there for special teams. This will stop the clock with 1:38. You get a look at Tom Wozniak, the head coach for King. Didn't have enough players out there for Washington on that special teams, and Wozniak just wants to get out of here and enjoy this one as the fog rolls in here.
Kind of an interesting comment that Coach Wozniak sent into the form we asked the head coaches to fill out ahead of time, and at the bottom it lists him as a math instructor, computer teacher, head football coach, head baseball coach, and right underneath that, a genuinely nice guy. And after having met him, I certainly agree with his own personal assessment. Heard from a couple people what an outstanding teacher he is, and you've got some knowledge of that too, John.
Well, I was going to say there's at least 2 outstanding guys in the building at King. David Long, the economics teacher and history teacher up on the 3rd floor there.
What relationship would he be to you,
Well,
John?
yeah, brother-in-law, yeah. And he lets you know. He'll let you know he's one of the best teachers over there at King. This time Stokes punt, and it's going to be picked up on the bounce by Royce Buckner, and Buckner takes it back across the 40 out to the 42-yard line. Well, that exactly the way your special teams coach would draw that one up.
That would be one of those, oh no, but if he had broken loose for the touchdown, oh yeah.
Right through his hands, and smart enough to go right after it. It bounced right up into his hands.
Keontae Sherwood still staying after him, still playing hard.
You know, the victory formation here is Christopher McCants out there, I think, to take the snap here. We'll see. Let's see. Yeah, that is McCants. He's going to hand it off. I figured they'd take a knee. So did Washington, I think, but elected to hand that one off. Devin Lacey on the carry.
He might have wished they had taken a knee on that one.
I think Wozniak now saying, let's just take the knee and get out of here. So King will go to 6-0. And we'll go to 3-0 in conference play.
Now, when you look at the number of points they've put up this year, John, 36 against Messmer, 42 Sturgeon Bay, 50 Morris Marshall, 42 against Vincent, 42 against Rhinelander, and tonight 52.
And only giving up 14 tonight in the win, 52-14. King Generals on top of the Washington Purgolders. And we'll step out. We'll be back with our post game. We'll have the presentation of the football and a visit with our player of the game. All of that coming up in the post game. Again, the King Generals on top of Washington, 52-14. Back after this Thursday Night Lights on My 24.
Well, we worked in the brother-in-law.
38 second half points tonight by the King Generals as they pull away from Washington. 52-14 our final here tonight. Washington, the defense by King, I should say, forcing the Generals their 6 possessions in the second half, 2 fumbles and 4 punts tonight in that second half. So Generals dominated here after halftime, and we head downstairs. Mike McGivern has the victorious team.
Hey guys, our player of the game, I think unanimous. Young man, well done. That's an awfully good game for you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you bet. You are our player of the game, and Steve Mullins from U.S. Army's got something for you.
Hey, Lindsay, on behalf of the United States Army and the Milwaukee Recruiting Battalion, just want to say congratulations on a great game, being the player of the game.
Thank you.
It's awesome. Well done. Hold it up. Yeah. Ho-ho. Hey, Coach, congratulations. You know what? On a good stage, on My 24, second half is exactly what you were talking about, I'm sure, at halftime.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I actually was a little more calm than the other coaches expected me to be, and just told them that I basically thought it was good for us to get a little test, and we haven't really been tested since the first game of the season, and they showed up in that second half for sure.
Boy, they wore them down in the second half, and that's something you guys have been doing all year long. Feeling even better about these boys than you were before the game. Congratulations, great win.
Thank you.
You bet. Here you go, boys.
Mike, get out of there.
Mike's going to have to use a couple of those dance moves we saw at halftime.
Tonight's Player of the Game award going to Lindsey Hudson tonight. 12 carries, 110 yards, 3 touchdowns. And on defense, he had fumble recovery and 7 tackles tonight. And one of his touchdown runs coming right after he recovered the fumble.
Right. I mean, you're kind of taking charge. He's one of their leaders, identified by Coach Wozniak as one of the top students on the team as well. Certainly someone who merited that award tonight.
Lindsey Hudson, our Player of the Game presentation, brought to you by Army. The U.S. Army, Army strong. Your final tonight, King over Washington, 52-14. Back with a final word from Custer Stadium right after this. King Generals dominate the second half, 38 second half points en route to a 52-14 ball game to go to 6-0. Coach, a good team takes advantage of what's given them, and they took advantage of some turnovers and short field in that second half.
Yeah, Washington certainly shot themselves in the foot with the penalties, and King jumped all over that and took advantage of it.
6-0 now, the Generals, as they head into a game against Bradley Tech next week. Our next broadcast here on My 24 next Thursday night. It's a Woodland Conference tilt. Pius taking on Greendale. That's next Thursday at 7 right here on My 24. Coach, thank you so much, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks to our entire crew here on My 24, to Kara and Mike McGivern, Terry Kelly, and John Weiser saying good night from Custer Stadium. King Generals, a 52-14 victory. Thanks for tuning in to Thursday Night Lights on My 24.